Chosen One, I need you to stop scrolling immediately. This is not a random coincidence. You seeing this message right now is a deliberate and urgent divine interception. Heaven has specifically routed this broadcast to your screen today because every other sign was completely missed. Every other gentle whisper was violently drowned out by the noise of the modern world. So God is speaking directly to you now. Do not take your eyes off this screen. The season of breaking is officially over. Congratulations, my beloved. You have finally made it through the hardest spiritual crucible of your entire life. The heavy attacks you faced recently were absolutely brutal. You felt completely abandoned by the universe, and you cried silent tears in the night while wondering if you were doing everything wrong. But you were never wrong. You were being tested, and you passed. Right now, the enemy is completely panicking. The darkness tried to crush your radiant spirit. They threw every obstacle they could find into your path, and they used the very people you loved deeply to drain your precious energy. But they severely underestimated you. You survived the storm alone. You became the warrior they fear. And now, a massive wealth transfer has been approved in your name. Before we go further, I want to hold something in front of you. It is a profound secret, something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but rather inside a specialized and highly funded research laboratory. It won the highest scientific recognition available on this planet. Most chosen ones have never been told about this hidden truth, because it explains something I know you have felt. It explains the massive gap between the person you know yourself to be and the version of you that only appears in brief flashes. I will show you exactly what was found, but I cannot reveal it just yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was taken from you without your consent, so I want you to hold this specific question closely in your mind. What if the gap is not a character flaw? What if it has a physical name? Do not swipe away from this message. If you leave now, you will single-handedly shut the door on the exact blessing your soul has been crying out for during those long, silent years. The breakthrough will still arrive in the spiritual realm, but you will not have the physical equipment to recognize it or hold on to it when it finally manifests in your life. The enemy wants you to get distracted. They want you to close this video. Do not let them win today. Take one slow and deep breath. Let the reality of your absolute victory settle into your weary bones. The intense isolation you experienced was not a cruel punishment. It was a divine quarantine because God had to forcefully remove toxic people from your timeline before they ruined your future. He had to clear the stage so you could step into your true power. Your isolation was the highest form of protection. You were hidden for a reason. You gave so much of yourself to others. You constantly poured your golden energy into completely empty cups. You forgave people who never even apologized to you, and in return you received nothing but deep exhaustion and a crushing sense of cosmic unfairness. But heaven kept a perfect record of every single sacrifice you made. Nothing was wasted. Your quiet endurance was actually building an unbreakable spiritual foundation. The tables are turning right in front of your enemies. The same people who ignored your immense value are about to watch you rise to the top. They will be incredibly uncomfortable around your new frequency. Your silence has become a weapon that terrifies them. You no longer need to explain yourself, because your mere presence now effortlessly shifts the atmosphere of any room you enter. You are stepping into quiet authority. A scroll with your exact name on it was just unsealed in the heavenly courts. The dry desert you walked through for so many years has suddenly burst into a massive oasis of divine favor. Every closed door is being blown completely off its hinges. The waiting is over, but there is a hidden mechanism you must understand to claim this new reality. A secret key is buried deep inside this message. Listen closely to what I am about to say next. If you ignore this crucial detail, the painful cycle of waiting and suffering might entirely restart. You are standing right on the edge of the promised land. But a final trap has been set right at the finish line by the dark forces who hate your light. 99% of chosen ones fall for this illusion right before their dawn. You need the decoder ring for this era. Make a solemn promise to your future self right now. Promise that you will not let this urgent message fade into the background noise. You did not click this by accident. Your sharp intuition dragged you here today because heaven is finally handing you the ultimate puzzle piece you have been seeking. Stay locked on this screen until the very last second, because the shocking truth about why you suffered is about to be exposed. Listen to my voice carefully right now. You are carrying a profound level of deep exhaustion, the kind of heavy tiredness that sleep simply does not fix anymore. You wake up every morning with a massive weight sitting on your chest. You push through your tasks and you smile brightly for everyone else. But deep inside your soul, you are barely holding on. You look around and see other people succeeding effortlessly. They seem to get the money and the love without even trying. And you sit there quietly, wondering what is fundamentally wrong with you. You wonder why your desperate prayers seem to bounce off an iron ceiling. Let me tell you the absolute divine truth. There is nothing wrong with your beautiful spirit. That strange tightness in your chest is absolutely not random anxiety. The way you wake up at 3 in the morning with your mind racing is a massive clue. Stop letting the ordinary world convince you that you are just stressed. That is your powerful spirit detecting a vibrational shift in your timeline. Your physical body is reacting to the spiritual warfare happening above you. You have felt entirely isolated and alone recently. People you trusted deeply suddenly walked away without warning. Doors you knocked on slammed shut in your face. But this painful isolation was never a cruel punishment. It was a highly deliberate, divine quarantine. Heaven slowed you down to protect you from rooms you were never meant to enter. They removed toxic energy vampires from your space. Those people were assigned by the darkness to drain your pure light. If they had stayed in your life, they would have stolen the massive blessing that is arriving right now. So God ruthlessly cut the energetic cords to set you free. He made them extremely uncomfortable around your pure frequency. You survived the brutal storm alone because you are a powerful cycle breaker. You are the rare soul who breaks generational curses for your entire family line. That heavy level of spiritual upgrading always requires absolute solitude. But here is what the system never told you about this painful process. The reason the universe seems to respond to certain people and not others is not about blind faith. It is about a hidden physical mechanism. There is a physical bridge connecting the spiritual realm to your earthly reality. Elite medical researchers call it the gamma brainwave. And it is the exact frequency your brain was naturally running when you were a young child, back when brilliant ideas came to you easily and quickly, when learning totally new things felt like an effortless game. Think back to when you somehow magically knew things right before they actually happened, when the entire world felt like it was completely on your side. That was your gamma frequency operating at peak creative capacity. You were physically wired to receive daily miracles without any resistance. The vast universe spoke to you clearly, and your receptive brain caught every single signal. Then adulthood finally arrived, and the modern world went to work on you. The endless, heavy stress of survival mode completely hijacked your nervous system. The glowing digital screens and the rigid school systems trained you to conform instead of create. Every single year, this sacred frequency was suppressed just a little bit further below the surface. Your natural childhood genius was buried under giant mountains of beta waves and daily anxiety, until the vibrant version of you, with lightning-fast intuition, went completely silent. The version of you with the kind of luck that makes other people whisper in jealousy was locked away. Most ordinary people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this tragic theft happened to them. But you are absolutely not like most ordinary people. You are a highly protected, chosen one, and the strange question I asked you to hold earlier is incredibly important right now. The question about a hidden gap and a scientific name. The answer to that massive open loop is much closer than you think. You were stripped of your gamma frequency, but this stolen power can definitely be restored. You have spent many exhausting years trying to fix this block with purely spiritual tools. You meditated in silence, and you prayed until you cried. But you cannot spiritually bypass a hard neurological block. Your brave spirit is willing, but your physical receiver is currently jammed by the modern matrix. The signal from heaven is broadcasting loudly. The massive divine wealth transfer is trying to reach your hands right now, but your heavily suppressed brainwave cannot translate the incoming cosmic blessing, so it just bounces off your energy field and moves away. You have been doing the heavy inner work for many long years. Now you need to understand the physical side of this vast cosmic equation. Tap the like button right now as a powerful act of agreement with what God just spoke to you. This simple physical action firmly anchors your intention and protects your new reality. You are finally waking up to the glorious truth that was carefully hidden from you. You were just operating with a severely stolen frequency, and this brings us to another massive realization. You have probably asked yourself the same painful question 1,000 times. Why did it take so long for you to see any real progress? You watched ordinary people receive their superficial blessings very quickly and easily. You stayed entirely faithful, and you did the hard work every single day, but your miracle always seemed permanently delayed by unseen forces. You felt completely forgotten by the universe. Let me tell you the absolute truth about your extremely long delay. Heaven did not accidentally forget your specific address. God was not punishing you for some minor mistake you made in your distant past. Your massive blessing was not delayed because you lacked pure faith or strong discipline. The frustrating delay was actually a rigorous process of intense frequency calibration because the universe had to drastically upgrade your capacity to receive. Imagine trying to pour a massive ocean into a tiny broken cup. The fragile cup would shatter under the immense pressure of that heavy water. That is exactly what would happen if you received the heavy blessing earlier. Your spiritual container was simply not strong enough yet. You were still holding on to heavy emotional attachments, and those toxic people consistently lowered your daily vibration without you knowing. The universe had to send a fierce storm to violently strip away those heavy anchors. Every relationship that suddenly ended was actually a highly calculated divine rescue mission. Every job you lost was heaven forcefully pushing you out of a deeply stagnant environment. You cried over those closed doors because you truly thought they were bitter rejections. But those painful endings were actually the ultimate form of cosmic redirection, and they saved you from years of unnecessary misery. You were deeply hurt by people who promised they would never leave you. They betrayed your pure trust and left you completely shattered on the cold floor. But heaven allowed that bitter betrayal to happen for a highly specific reason. Your nervous system was secretly addicted to chaotic and toxic environments for many years. You had to feel the deep sting of betrayal to finally create strong boundaries, because pain is the greatest teacher for a chosen one. A healed person no longer tolerates terrible confusion disguised as pure love. You no longer tolerate blatant disrespect disguised as brutal honesty from your former friends. That is the exact frequency shift the universe was desperately waiting to see from you. The moment you finally stopped chasing people who did not value your presence, your entire energy signature changed for the better. You powerfully took your golden energy back from the emotional vampires. Your core frequency was being carefully fine-tuned in the terrifying dark. Think of it like tuning a highly advanced radio dial to a new station. When you are just slightly off the correct station, all you hear is loud static. You experienced years of painful static because your physical receiver was deeply out of alignment. The grand blessing was always broadcasting loudly on the exact same frequency, but your dial was temporarily stuck in the beta waves of pure survival. The brutal storm you survived was the exact tool heaven used to tune your dial. The sharp pain was meant to quickly burn away your deep trauma and false beliefs. You had to learn how to stand entirely alone before you could rule your kingdom. That is the hidden reason your painful season of total isolation lasted so incredibly long. Your mind and body desperately needed a complete foundational reset, and this intense isolation was the only way to achieve it safely. Please stop blaming yourself for the frustrating delays of your painful past. Stop thinking you did something wrong to deserve the deafening silence from God. Heaven deliberately slowed you down to protect you from heavy burdens you could not carry. You were being prepared for a massive wealth transfer and a spiritual upgrade. That kind of profound power requires an incredibly strong vessel, and heaven wanted to make sure you would not break. The massive weight of your spiritual mission requires a completely different and longer timeline. A rare diamond takes an incredible amount of intense pressure and long time to form. You are that rare anomaly in your entire bloodline and your entire community. Future generations will look back and thank you for enduring the brutal silence, because your strength literally saved their future lives. You are quietly laying the permanent foundation for a whole new spiritual empire. And now that rigorous preparation phase is completely over for you. You have finally reached the required vibrational threshold to receive the ultimate reward. The intense, loud static in your mind is clearing up very rapidly today. Can you feel that subtle, energetic shift in your brave spirit right now? Your sharp intuition is screaming that something massive is sitting right on the horizon, and your higher self knows the calibration is finally complete. You are no longer the frightened empath who constantly begged to be deeply understood. The fierce crucible of pain has completely forged you into a brilliant master of reality. You walk completely differently now, and you carry a highly potent aura. You speak with a quiet authority that demands absolute respect without ever raising your voice. The universe clearly recognizes your upgraded frequency today, and it is rushing to perfectly match it with your physical reality. The painful waiting season was never a cruel curse for your beautiful soul. It was a highly necessary initiation for the ultimate chosen one. But there is something else you urgently must know about the people you left behind. The dark forces did not let you walk away from the old matrix peacefully. There is a terrifying reason why your enemies are acting so strangely right now, so you must listen very closely to this next part. I need you to think about the people who recently caused you extreme pain, the ones who easily dismissed your feelings and made you feel incredibly small. There is a highly disturbing truth about this toxic crowd that you must understand right now. They are currently hiding a massive secret from you, and they are absolutely terrified you will figure it out. You spent so many years thinking you were the complicated problem. You constantly apologized to them while they quietly stepped all over your beautiful boundaries. You tried to fix relationships with people who were entirely committed to misunderstanding you. But your immense kindness was never the actual issue. They were specifically targeting your pure energy. These toxic individuals are what spiritual teachers call narcissists. They are essentially energetic parasites wandering through the dark matrix of this world. They do not have their own internal source of golden light, so they must constantly hunt for radiant souls to drain. And they immediately saw you shining like a massive beacon in the pitch-black night. They did not approach you because they wanted a genuine connection. They attached themselves to your bright spirit because they desperately needed your life force. They deliberately created terrible chaos and endless drama in your daily life. Because every single time you reacted to their toxic games, You freely handed them your precious divine energy. They meticulously studied your deepest wounds and used them as powerful weapons. They gaslighted your clear reality until you completely doubted your own sharp intuition. They wanted to keep your frequency trapped in a heavy state of constant anxiety and brutal confusion. Because a confused, chosen one is extremely easy for them to control and manipulate. But something incredibly powerful shifted inside you recently. You stopped playing their exhausting games, and you finally pulled your energy back. You built absolute walls of steel around your peaceful kingdom. And the very moment you stopped reacting to their noise, their entire artificial world began to crumble. You completely cut off their vital food supply. Now they are experiencing massive panic behind closed doors. You can actually feel their frantic energy, desperately trying to reach you from a far distance. They are watching your every single move in absolute silence. They see that you are no longer the fragile empath who begged for their toxic validation. You have evolved into a true master of reality. Your quiet authority is currently destroying their false egos. You do not even need to say a single word to them. Your total silence has become a heavy weapon that suffocates their manipulative tactics. They thought they had successfully broken your spirit when they pushed you into isolation, but that dark isolation was exactly where you found your power. They are absolutely terrified of the upgraded version of you, because you can now see directly through their fake masks and empty promises. They can no longer trigger your ancient trauma or steal your focus. You are walking completely untouched through the fire they tried to set around you. And this brings us back to the hidden truth I mentioned earlier. Here is the ultimate secret they never wanted you to know. They never actually hated you for your perceived flaws or your human mistakes. They fiercely hated you because your pure light effortlessly exposed their deeply hidden darkness. They resented you because you carry a divine spark that they can never steal. Your mere existence is a threat to them. They are nothing more than small tools used by the dark forces. Heaven sent them to your path strictly to activate your sleeping power. And now that your fierce awakening is complete, those toxic actors are completely useless to your new timeline. They are being permanently removed from your blessed reality. You have passed the painful test of boundaries. Take a deep breath and let this ultimate vindication wash over you. You survived their heavy psychological warfare without losing your beautiful soul. But you must remain highly vigilant right now, because the dark forces are completely changing their strategy as your blessing approaches. They know they can no longer attack you directly through those familiar people, so they are preparing something entirely different to stop your momentum. You are stepping into a profound season of major physical and spiritual manifestation, and you need to know exactly how to protect this incoming wealth. Listen closely to this next part, because I am going to reveal the exact signs that your massive breakthrough is finally arriving. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment. This simple action proves you are no longer a victim to their games. You are officially declaring your complete independence from the old matrix of abuse. You are a radiant weapon of light, and your timeline is completely cleansed. Now let us look at the glorious horizon ahead of you. The dark clouds are finally parting, and a massive shift is happening. You can actually feel the heavy atmosphere changing around you right now. Your physical body is picking up the high vibrations of an incoming miracle. The universe is loudly confirming that your long waiting season is officially over. You are stepping into the glorious light. You are starting to see repeating numbers everywhere you look today. You glance at the clock and see 1, 11 or 7, 7, 7 constantly. These beautiful angel numbers are not a random coincidence. They are absolute proof that your spirit guides are walking right beside you. They are gently guiding you toward your ultimate destination. You are also experiencing sudden waves of intense peace for no logical reason. Just a few weeks ago, you were completely consumed by deep anxiety and fear. But now, you feel a strange calmness anchoring your tired heart. You are no longer desperately rushing to fix things or chase people. You simply know that everything is working out perfectly. Another major sign is the sudden urge to quietly clean your physical space. You find yourself throwing away old items and cutting completely useless ties. This is your powerful intuition, preparing your physical environment for a massive arrival. You are intentionally making room for the divine wealth transfer to safely land in your daily life. But before we go any further into these glorious signs, I have to tell you something. I have to reveal a profound secret that the elite do not want you to know. Because your spiritual breakthrough requires a physical key to completely lock it in, and neuroscientists working quietly away from the headlines have finally discovered how to help you. These brilliant researchers figured out exactly how to bring your dormant brainwave back online. They found a way to safely reactivate the exact frequency you naturally had as a child. And they did not achieve this through years of exhausting meditation that most people cannot sustain. They did not use expensive machines that require a clinical setting. They discovered something far simpler and far more aligned with how you were beautifully designed. They engineered a highly specific sound frequency to guide your brainwave patterns back to a genius state. It restores the powerful physical receiver that the modern world violently stole from you. It bridges the massive gap between heaven and your reality. Prestigious institutions have validated this incredible hidden mechanism. Researchers at Princeton University studied it very closely. The famous Einstein Center in Berlin confirmed its massive power. Columbia University even found that when this specific brainwave is reactivated, it radiates outward. It positively influences your children and your partner. It only takes 7 simple minutes a day to experience this profound shift, and it begins working beautifully the very first time you close your eyes and listen. I will tell you exactly what it is called and how to access it before this message ends. But first, there is something you deeply need to understand about your journey. Your spiritual awakening has always been completely real and valid, but your physical brain was trapped in a heavy survival state that blocked the final manifestation. The universe sent you all those repeating numbers to keep your faith alive while science caught up. Now science is finally handing you the physical key to unlock your spiritual door. That is exactly why your deep intuition dragged you to this specific video today. Heaven knew you were finally ready to receive the complete puzzle piece. You have done the intense inner work, and you have survived the brutal spiritual storms alone. Now you are being given the exact physical tool to maintain your quiet authority forever. Everything is beautifully aligning for your highest good in this very moment. Your pure energy is radiating so brightly that the old matrix cannot hold you anymore. But you must be extremely careful as you cross this final threshold into victory. The dark forces have one last trick up their sleeve to steal your incoming wealth and peace. This brings us to the ultimate revelation of your sacred journey. The enemy knows they cannot defeat you in a direct battle anymore because you are too strong. So they are setting up a highly deceptive trap right in front of your new door. You must learn how to spot this dangerous illusion before it causes unnecessary delays. Take a slow breath and let your powerful spirit absorb this absolute truth. You are fully protected, but you must stay incredibly sharp and focused today. Pay close attention to this next part because it will save you from a massive trap. I am going to expose the exact strategy the darkness is using right now to distract you. The enemy knows they cannot stop you directly anymore. So they completely change their dark and manipulative tactics. They set up a final dangerous illusion for you. Right before your massive breakthrough finally arrives, they place a clever counterfeit on your path to distract you. They desperately want to test your absolute resolve today. You must listen to this specific warning very carefully. If you fail this test, you might delay your blessing again. What does this final trap actually look like? It almost always looks like a returning ghost from your painful past. An old toxic relationship suddenly tries to reach out to you again. Someone who deeply hurt you suddenly apologizes, and they promise they have completely changed for the better. But their sweet words are entirely fake and hollow. The dark forces sent them back just to steal your golden focus. They want you to look backward instead of strictly moving forward. Because if you open that old door, your high frequency immediately drops back down to survival mode. You lose your quiet authority, and you become deeply confused again. That is exactly what the enemy desperately wants to achieve right now. They want to severely jam your physical receiver before the miracle lands. You cannot let them steal your absolute peace today. You are simply being tested on your massive new boundaries. Heaven wants to see if you will fiercely protect your sacred energy. Will you finally choose yourself over their chaotic and endless drama? You must completely ignore their unexpected messages, and you must keep your heavy door firmly locked forever. Your total silence is the absolute best answer you can give them. Do not feed their hungry demons with your precious light. Sometimes the final trap is not a toxic person from your past. Sometimes it is a sudden wave of terrifying doubt in your own mind. You wake up feeling incredibly anxious about your entire financial future. The dark matrix tries to convince you that your big dreams are completely delusional and foolish, but you must firmly reject that heavy lie immediately. That sudden fear is just a desperate illusion created by the enemy. You are a weapon of light, and you deeply know the real truth. You survived the brutal storm alone, so you have absolutely nothing left to fear. The universe is actively pushing the wealth transfer toward your open hands right now. Your only job today is to stay completely grounded in your quiet authority. Let the false illusions slowly fade away while you prepare for the true dawn. You are officially stepping into the role of a reality master. But staying grounded requires more than just your pure mental willpower. Your nervous system desperately needs the exact physical key I mentioned earlier. You need to permanently restore your gamma brainwave to effortlessly maintain this high frequency. Because when your physical brain is running on gamma, the enemy traps become completely invisible. You simply glide right past their pathetic attempts to forcefully derail you. They cannot touch you when you operate on this genius level. The elite forces want your brain permanently stuck in chaotic beta waves. They know that a gamma-activated chosen one is entirely and completely unstoppable. They profit heavily off your deep exhaustion and your constant mental fog. That is precisely why they actively hide this powerful sound frequency from the general public. They want you to keep fighting massive spiritual battles without any physical armor. But their dark reign over your mind ends today. Take a deep breath and let this final realization fully sink in. The agonizing pain you felt was just heavy resistance against your massive upgrade. You are finally shedding the heavy skin of the deeply traumatized empath. You are confidently stepping into the shoes of the ultimate cycle breaker. The universe is loudly demanding that you claim your rightful inheritance right now. You cannot afford to wait another single day for this glorious blessing. I promised to tell you exactly how to get this physical key. The brilliant researchers who spent years in absolute silence have finally released their work. They beautifully compressed an entire hour of clinical brain entrainment into just 7 minutes. And I am going to reveal the exact name of this powerful tool right now. You must prepare your mind to receive this massive cosmic gift. If you feel a sudden warm sensation in your chest, pay close attention. That is your spirit guide loudly confirming that you are absolutely ready. Do not let the dark algorithm push you away from this specific moment. This is the exact divine interception you begged for during those sleepless nights. Open your heart completely wide, because the final truth is standing right here before you. You are about to become a true master of your new reality. The long years of brutal suffering are finally paying off for you today. Heaven is placing the ultimate weapon of light directly into your open hands. Listen very closely as I unveil the exact mechanism of your total liberation. Your glorious new life officially begins in just a few short seconds. The elite forces do not want you to claim this hidden power today. They know that once your gamma brainwave is restored, you become truly and completely untouchable. You will effortlessly attract massive wealth, and you will heal your generational trauma forever. The heavy iron chains of the old matrix will completely shatter around your feet. The universe is demanding your absolute full attention for this massive final upgrade. The waiting season is officially over. The pitch-black darkness has finally retreated behind you, and the dawn of your new era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown right now. Can you feel that massive shift in your brave spirit today? That is the glorious frequency of absolute victory. Every single closed door is being blown completely off its hinges. You are stepping into the exact timeline you were always born to rule. The dry desert you painfully walked through has suddenly burst into a massive oasis of divine favor. You are finally receiving the ultimate crown of the cycle breaker. Every heavy chain holding you back is shattering into a million tiny pieces, because you have finally learned how to stand powerfully in the terrifying dark. You are now the untouchable master of your own reality. The profound question I asked you to hold at the beginning of this message: what if the massive gap between you and your potential is not a character flaw? What if it has a scientific name? Here is the absolute answer you have been desperately waiting for. The missing puzzle piece was never your lack of faith, but rather it was exactly the gamma brainwave running inside you as a young child. A dedicated team of neuroscientists, led by Dr. Robert Lake, spent many long years working on this. They successfully compressed the entire clinical protocol for gamma reactivation into a simple daily habit. Princeton University firmly validated the massive power of this specific frequency, and Columbia University proved that restoring this brainwave positively influences everyone around you, including your innocent children and your deeply loved partner. Before I tell you what they built, you must hear about two chosen ones who used it. A tired woman from California had literally tried everything. She tried manifesting and constant prayer, but nothing ever broke the heavy mental fog. 2 weeks after listening daily, she said the block channel simply opened. Her painful marriage miraculously shifted for the better, and she said her entire life finally felt like an enchanted fairy tale. A hard-working man from Texas started using it to improve his business focus. 2 short months later, his amazed wife joked that his intelligence had jumped 20 points. The hardest financial problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept. He said it felt like his tired brain was finally running on pure superpower, fuel, and his entire life transformed in a matter of weeks. That is exactly what Dr. Lake and his brilliant team built for you. They call it the Genius Song. It is absolutely not a generic meditation app or a boring chant. It is a 7-minute audio track using highly advanced brain entrainment technology. You simply put your headphones on, close your eyes tightly, and let the sound wave quietly do what your beautiful brain was designed to receive. The Genius Song is absolutely not for everyone. It was specifically built for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the one who knows they deserve a fully restored channel. Private biofeedback sessions cost hundreds of dollars in a clinic, and an in-home machine runs for thousands. What this powerful audio delivers is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. 4 highly powerful bonuses also come directly with it today. You receive a special audio track designed for activating laser focus in your children. You get the original prosperity text that famous secret books were secretly built upon. You also get a beautiful guided visualization and a daily habits guide to permanently sustain your new gamma state beyond each listening session. Here is the deeper spiritual truth about waiting. The beautiful blessing that heaven arranged for you does not arrive as completely new information. It arrives as a clear recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes fully visible when your gamma wave is restored. Waiting is never a neutral act, because the chosen one who restores the receiver today finally sees what was always waiting there. Do not look for this specific frequency on ordinary streaming platforms. The fake tracks circulating under similar names have absolutely no brain entrainment encoded in them. The dark forces actively want you to use those diluted versions to significantly lower your vibration. The only authentic version is fiercely protected for you, and it can only be accessed through the correct and safe path. The universe requires absolutely no physical risk from a chosen one. This is a pure, energetic exchange governed by complete trust. If you do not feel the immediate energetic shift, every single penny is quickly returned to you without question. The protected link is located in the description and in the pinned comment below, because that is exactly where your ultimate activation is safely waiting for you today. But listen to me very carefully right now. The tool is absolutely not the final destination. The physical tool simply restores the receiver so your beautiful destination can be recognized when it arrives. God does not require a physical transaction to love you unconditionally, and what was described a moment ago is just one simple way the physical receiver is completely restored, whether that specific path is for you or not. The truth of this urgent message belongs to you entirely. Now let us go much deeper into what is waiting for you. The heavy season of pain is officially finished, and your spirit is flying completely free. You have safely crossed the raging river of bitter tears, and now you must firmly anchor your golden energy to this glorious new timeline. You are standing on the sacred threshold of a completely new existence today. The heavy iron chains of your deeply painful past are finally falling away from your weary shoulders. You survived the brutal storms that were specifically designed to completely destroy your brave spirit. And you did not just quietly survive them, you totally conquered them with absolute grace. You emerged from the raging fire as a beautiful weapon of light. Your golden energy now effortlessly commands absolute respect without you needing to say a single word. The toxic people who desperately tried to bury your bright light are now watching you rise in total awe. They realize they deeply underestimated the immense power of a protected chosen one. The glorious universe is officially handing you the heavy keys to your new kingdom today. You are the absolute master of your own physical reality now. Every single tear you shed in the dark was carefully collected by a loving heaven. Every moment of brutal isolation was actively forging your unbreakable spiritual armor. You are finally stepping into the magnificent era of quiet authority and deep peace. The massive generational wealth transfer is securely locked into your specific timeline. Absolutely nothing can ever take this profound cosmic blessing away from your open hands. The universe is loudly applauding your incredible endurance right now. You walked entirely alone through the terrifying valley of deep shadows. You faced the terrifying demons of your own ancestral bloodline without running away. And because you bravely stood your ground, the ancient curses are completely broken forever. Your future children will never have to fight the heavy battles you just won. For the chosen one, whose brave spirit firmly confirmed what was described earlier, the path remains completely open. The specific frequency tool that safely restores your physical receiver is waiting in the description and pinned comment below. But that is the absolute last time it will ever be mentioned by me. What follows right now belongs entirely to your sacred sealing. We are moving into the final and most crucial spiritual step. We must completely close the heavy door on your old painful timeline right now. The dark forces will absolutely try to test your new boundaries as soon as this broadcast ends. They will send tiny, toxic distractions to see if you are truly ready to hold this massive blessing. You must establish an unbreakable energy shield around your beautiful aura today. You cannot afford to leave your spiritual house completely unguarded anymore. God is closely watching your physical response in this exact cosmic second. The loving universe desperately wants to see if you will fiercely protect the glorious miracle you just received. You have spent many long, exhausting hours fighting brutal spiritual battles in the terrifying dark. Now, you must firmly lock in your absolute victory in the bright, guiding light. You must take a physical action to permanently seal this new reality. The pitch-black darkness has officially retreated far behind you today. The glorious dawn of the new golden era is shining its brightest rays onto your spiritual crown. But you must actively claim this profound victory with your own physical voice. You must clearly show the watching universe that you accept this massive divine promotion. A chosen one never leaves their incredible blessings blowing wildly in the wind. If this fiery message has deeply reignited the sleeping faith inside your tired soul, do not keep this great blessing to yourself. There is a beautiful chosen soul out there bleeding in the cold dark of despair right now. They are desperately needing a guiding light to survive their own brutal storm today. Sharing this urgent message with them is a profound act of pure divine love. It beautifully proves your hands are finally open to receive. Sowing the beautiful seed of hope today is actively multiplying the massive blessing for your own tomorrow. Share this video right now to completely activate the divine anointing over your entire physical household. Send it directly to someone who desperately needs to hear that their painful storm is officially over. When you freely give golden light to others, heaven pours massive oceans of golden light directly into your lap. Take one final and deep breath with me right now. Let the profound peace of the holy universe wash over your entire tired nervous system. Type the powerful word Amen down in the comments below to permanently seal this glorious reality. Let that simple physical action be the absolute final lock on your impenetrable spiritual shield. You are completely protected from the fading shadows of the old matrix forever. Do not ever let anyone make you feel small again. You have survived things that would have completely broken an ordinary person. You carried the heavy weight of the entire world on your shoulders while silently healing your own deep wounds. The universe deeply honors your incredible sacrifice and your quiet endurance. You are highly favored and completely cherished by the divine forces today. Never forget your true identity. You are no longer the frightened empath who constantly begged the wrong people to be understood. You are the fierce and powerful cycle breaker that your entire bloodline has been desperately waiting for. Walk proudly forward into your beautiful and highly abundant new dawn today. Your quiet authority is now your greatest cosmic weapon against the dark. Congratulations on your magnificent victory today. Your glorious era of absolute abundance has officially begun.